Back out here again, gonna do a little bit more hunting while the season's still open. You can see that there's some damage as a result of those storms from the last trip. Gonna enjoy some cooler weather this time, so definitely gonna want the hot tent and want the stove. Got a couple things in mind that I want to try out. Looking forward to seeing how they work out. I'll share them with you whether they work or don't. Just an idea I had while I was out here and then did a little brainstorming with my son. So see how it goes. See you guys in a little bit. Of course. Alright, back to the same spot as last time. Gonna go ahead and set up camp. I already know from last time that I'm gonna have to go somewhere else to get firewood, but that's alright. It's a beautiful spot, so it's worth it. Alright, I planned on getting the fire going later after I got some firewood, but it's noon and I'm starting to get hungry. Found my big plate. I don't think that's gonna be enough water. Since this was a last minute trip, I just ended up going with the easy beans and rice again. Ham and beans, rather. Not beans and rice. Too much Dave Ramsey. Alright, coffee is ready. I think lunch is just about there as well. I have to clean that off. Set it down wet on the leaves and stuff. Be right back. Cheers. Though I wish this were beer. Whew. That's gonna have to cool off a bit more. I added some fire sauce to it. Still had another pack left. I thought I had some chicken to add, but that's alright. Ham and beans will be good. Nice hearty meal on a cool day. Thermometer says it's 44 degrees. That's, I don't know, about 9 degrees Celsius, I think. That's not right. About 5 degrees Celsius. Still not right. 6 or 7. Oh, that's tasty. All right, that was a good meal. It's definitely cool enough that it's nice to have the fire. Left side's getting a little chilly. Not so cold that I need to shut the tent, so it's nice to have this flap open. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but you're actually outside right now. So it's nice to have the view and have a little bit more openness. We're gonna get a couple pieces of wood on here and going well, and then empty out the backpack and time to go for a hike and go get some firewood. That's not the tree I was actually going to go for. There was another one I passed earlier, but it looks pretty good, looks pretty dry, and it's a lot of it's the right size, so I think this is what I'm going for. Whew. That's warm. That's a pretty decent haul, and it's warm in here. The thermometer was covered in clothes, and it's on the ground. It says 51. I bet it's 70 at least. This may or may not be enough wood for all day and overnight, and then in the morning, but it's a pretty good haul. I'll probably have to go back out at least one more time, maybe around dark. It's dark early now that it's after the time change, so it'll give me something to do. But yeah, this will be good for a while. Now I can just relax and work on things. Alright, well this is one of my projects for this trip. After last time and all that rain, definitely need to seam seal the tarp portion of this. It's kind of cold out, but I figure the top of this tarp is plenty warm because of the stove. I do get a little bit of dripping around the stove jack, so I'm going to go ahead and get around that as well. Alright, everything's seam sealed. Well, not everything. The top seam and then the main seam along the zipper, so I have a good dry area. Not nearly enough in that little tube to do the whole tent, but I don't think that's the tube that came with this tent. I think that was actually my last tent. Still wouldn't have been near enough. Bottom of it was kind of gummy because it was old, but yeah, that would have had to have been thinned down with something to be enough to cover all the seams. So, on to the next project. Gonna try to make a base for the chair. Kind of like, I think Spackman did it, and someone else, I don't think he originated it, someone else did it. But it's time to do that. I'm tired of this thing sinking into the ground. I have this section from an old tent. I'm going to see if I can make it out of this. Okay, well, the chair project was a bust. The tape doesn't stick to that fabric very well, so I'm going to have to get some different fabric. But here's what I'm really excited about for this trip. Don't know if it's going to work, but I had an idea on how to distribute the heat better. You know those big inflatable wavy arm guys? Yeah, it's basically one of those. I just sewed a simple tube out of sil nylon. Got an old PC CPU fan here and a couple of batteries to run it. On 12 volts, it runs like half an amp, so the batteries would die real quick. But on 7 volts, I think it was, it only, maybe it was 9, it ran like 50 milliamps. So that would last 30 hours on one set of batteries. So got a couple batteries here. So I've got to figure out a way to hang this up here, but the idea is that it's going to suck in the heat from the top and then blow it down on me at the bottom. Looks like I can probably shorten this tube a little bit, and then at some point I will put in like an aluminum wire, and then I can actually bend it to angle it. So let's see how this works. We've got mounting holes in the 4 corners, so I think I'm just going to use some string and hang it up there. Alright, I've got it hooked up. I can feel a nice warm breeze here. So we're starting off at 64 degrees. This has been sitting on the ground a while away from the stove. Fan just seems to be getting faster. We're gonna hook it up, set this underneath, and we'll watch what the temperature does here in a little bit. It's a lot faster than when I tried it off to the side. All right, we'll see how this goes here in a few minutes. This is working awesome. It's only been going for less than 5 minutes. This thing's already up and it's continuing to rise. So 90 degree air or so, that's 30°C. Man, that's awesome. Man, that is so exciting. The proof of concept works. This is the first time I've tried this. Proof of concept trip seems to be super promising. All right, time to start getting ready some dinner. Got a few squirrel legs here. And then this is one of the other things I wanted to try. This is a freeze-dried chicken patty. I fully expect this to turn out very poorly. It may or may not rehydrate well, but it's breaded, so I'm sure that's going to be soggy, so then I'm going to have to try to fry it. So we'll see what we can do, see if we can make it work, but fully expect it to turn out terrible. Squirrel legs are going to take a while to get up to temperature and to turn tender, so I'm going to start it now, and it'll probably be ready in a couple hours. Water's already seasoned, but I'll add the rest of the seasoning after everything's cooked. Right. Cooked chicken rehydrates really fast. Raw meats typically do not, though. So we're going to give it a while and see how it goes. We'll just let that sit in there until it feels about right, and then we'll cook it. Now it's a little overcooked, and it was under reconstituted. I mean, didn't have it soak in long enough. Kind of hard to do on raw meats. Wow, that is super tough. I could not even cut it with my knife. I'm not going to be able to bite it. That's so chewy. That's inedible. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Toss it in the woods, maybe. Try to chew on it like jerky. I don't know. That's a pretty good pile of firewood now. Feel good about that for the rest of the trip. About 7:30. Squirrel's been on now for a couple hours, so it should be ready. Figured it needed that extra half hour, so I went and did the firewood that I needed to do anyway. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, the squirrel legs, after I tenderized them by boiling for a couple hours, threw on a pan with some oil to fry them up just a little bit for some color and taste. Also, the seasoning tends to taste better if you cook it rather than just have it on raw. Got a little bit of color on there. Not a lot, but a little bit. Got the one that I didn't fry here. That's cool enough to eat. Nice and tender. Could actually use a little bit more salt. It's a little heavy maybe on the onion powder, I think it is. But not bad. Right, I'm just gonna relax and here in a couple hours get a good load of wood going. I'm really excited to try this tonight. It's not this being, I don't know if it's in frame, but this being the fan tube. It's not quite short enough to blow on me directly, but I should be able to blow next to me and then have that warm air kind of surrounding me a little bit. Be interesting to try it out. The squirrel eggs were pretty good. 4 of them was probably a little bit much though. That's a lot of food. And I did end up eating that chicken, so that probably contributed to it too. Took a while to eat that. So I think I'm gonna just brush my teeth, toss these bones out in the woods, and just relax and go to bed early. I was up last night getting last week's video ready. Good morning. Oh, that is bright first thing in the morning. Especially when you're looking right at it. All right, slept well. Got a pretty healthy load of coals left. I'll show you here in a minute. Only woke up once overnight. Went to bed about 10 is when I actually got to sleep. Might doze off before that, but loaded it up then. Filled it up at 2. Even though there's a lot of coals then, it could have gone a little longer. I was already awake, so fed the fire. About 6:30 right now, 6:30. Like I said, pretty good load of coals left. The fan tube didn't do a lot overnight because you end up dampering it down so much that it just doesn't have that much heat. It's not bad. It's just like a tepid, warm breeze, maybe 70 or 80 degrees. But it's not the hot air like when you're cooking and it's really hot up here. So once I get it cooking, it's good to help circulate things, but didn't help so much overnight. I'll still probably try it some more just to see how I like it. I'll definitely use it when I have the stove going on high so that it's not suffocating up high and freezing down low. Gonna go ahead and grab the food, get up, rearrange the camera, and we'll get going. Fire's made, got the food bag. I've got a few things that I want to try this morning. Of course, coffee. Water's pretty much ready for that now. But I've got, doesn't look like much, but this is a thing of ground bacon. It's a little, probably too much. And then I've got my dried eggs that I'll cook up as well. So I'm gonna get my coffee made, get that bacon on, and then be back. Too many splatters are gonna make it smoky in here. Figured this might catch the splatters. Time for some eggs. Maybe I shouldn't have run out and got the cover photo. Eggs are a little overcooked in some places. Not bad. Didn't really need any seasoning because this particular bacon, it was some mediocre bacon. So I mixed it with some other stuff. It's a peppered bacon. So it's got a lot of pepper already and obviously salt as well. But pretty good. about noon. Ate the rest of the bacon bits. There was more than enough there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start packing up. Had no luck this morning. Saw some swans. I saw a deer in the woods, but I'm not deer hunting. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. I really look forward to trying this out with a more refined design here in the near future.